Hello and welcome to Lakers Live postgame show presented by the Ultimate Sports Show. I'm Aaron. I'm joined by Manny. As always, Manny, Lakers got it done. 114-103. Wasn't pretty. I mean, it wasn't pretty. There's a lot of things we could talk about here in our show today. But I mean, we got it done. We snapped this losing streak we had. And, we still got to be happy. A win is a win. We got it done against Orlando, who was coming off of a back-to-back tonight. It was, on paper, everybody says the Lakers, you got to beat this team, and we did.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy that the winning streak is we finally have a winning streak. We won one, and I'm happy we did because because Orlando lost 8 straight games at home. So I'm just happy we did, and the great thing is that we won. But there's one problem I got to address, and that's that second quarter was horrid. I mean horrid. We got outscored 40-22 in that second quarter. Guys, I think we should be better than this, especially against a lowly Orlando Magic squad. But apart from that, I feel like we did good. That fourth quarter, in my opinion, saved us, and I even tweeted that. And another thing, like the shooting, I think we shot the ball a little better. I feel like we could shoot a little bit better than we usually do, but we still shot the ball okay. We shot 54% from the field, but the 3-point percentage, I feel like we should get a little higher than that because problem is we take too many threes. That's our problem, in my opinion.
Yeah. We took too many threes. The second quarter, let's get right into there. Look, if you look at the box score, 40-22 in favor of the Magic. Now, on paper, it should have been the other way around. Like, no questions asked. You played a great quarter. They beat out the Magic 28-16. In the first quarter, you got to come out here. You got to keep going and really put your foot down on this team and say, hey, you beat this team. You got to come out here and keep it going. You can't show up. You can't have a lackluster second quarter. I think that's the best, cleanest way we could describe it. They just did not play great. There's so many things went wrong for them. It's like it is like the Lakers absolutely fell asleep on the offensive end and the defensive end. Everything just kind of collapsed in the same time. And I wasn't sure how the rest of this game was going to turn out because they just didn't play. They didn't play terrific. They played great in the first quarter, and then it just kind of was up in the air at that point, right?
Yeah, I agree with you there. We could have played better, but a win is a win. I'm happy that we won, but the one thing that I got to address as well is that I feel like we should be scoring the ball a little more. We can't use it as an excuse, Aaron, and also all of Laker Nation. We can't use it as an excuse that the fact that we don't have LeBron, so we can be okay being 29th in the NBA in scoring. In my opinion, that's unacceptable, guys. We need to be at least in the middle of the pack for scoring, or maybe at least in the top 10. We have AD back, so this shouldn't be an excuse. Even without AD, we should be scoring the ball a little better. But I'm happy that my boy Trez finally got out of his slump. He had 18 points. I want to see him get a little more rebounds, though. I don't like the fact that he only had 5 rebounds, but 7 for 10 shooting is what I like to see. If you're a big man, you should be having a good percentage from the field. AD, doing AD stuff. He had 18 points, 8 rebounds. I think he should be in the 20s for points because it's Anthony freaking Davis. I think he's capable of that. Kuzma, you did good, Kuzma. You didn't shoot like 10 plus threes like you usually do. I'm glad of that. Good job, Kuz. It looks like you're learning finally. You had 14 points and you shot 4 for 6 from 3. And you got 7 rebounds. Pretty solid game from Kuz, in my opinion. Andre Drummond, your boy Drummond, Aaron, he played very well. 6 for 8 from the field, 13 points, 11 rebounds. Props to Andre Drummond. But Dennis Schroeder, boy, has he been on a tear. And tonight, he really showed out. In my opinion, he was our best player tonight. He had 21 points, 10 assists, and shot 10 for 18 from the field. Very good game, Schroeder. I think as long as we have Dennis Schroeder, and another thing, Laker Nation, I got to address in the playoffs, I think Schroeder is going to be really, really valuable to us. He's gonna be part of that big three of like Schroeder, LeBron, and AD, because Schroeder is like a guy who can be very impactful during the playoffs. I mean, we saw. I mean, I'm not a Hawks fan, but I've seen him on the Atlanta Hawks. I forgot what season it was, but he averaged like I think like 19 and 8 in one of their playoff runs. So Schroeder is very capable of that, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from Schroeder if he keeps this up.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, let's spend a minute or so talking about your boy Montrezl Harrell. Really showed up today. The Lakers needed him a lot. He, what can I say? Like he's a character. He's fun to watch. Um, you've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for him to play great.
Mm-hmm.
And he just finally looked like himself. I don't know what was going on. Maybe he just needed some games off or whatever the case may be. I'm an NBA player. There's a lot of behind the scenes to anybody's life, so you never know what was going on with it. He was just great. I mean, he gave the Lakers the energy they needed. They had bench scoring, they had the offensive rebounding, and then he got fired up there right at the foul that he finally got. You always hear him if you listen to those microphones that pick up everything by the court. You always hear him yell his and one every time because
All the time.
he is just that guy that says, "Give me the ball." And I deserve to be fouled. And don't get me wrong, he should have gotten it at least a few times tonight. Officiating again, not the sharpest. That's been a topic of question throughout the whole entire season so far. But I mean, he was great. He did everything that we could have asked him to do. And now he's just got to keep it going because they don't win this game tonight without him.
Oh, absolutely. I've always said that he should be in the conversation for Sixth Man of the Year, and I said a few shows ago that he might lose that thing, Sixth Man of the Year, because of the emergence of Jordan Clarkson playing for the Jazz and the fact that they're the first seed. And by the way, congrats to the Jazz, they clinched their first playoff spot. But back to what I was saying about Trez. This is what we want to see from Trez. We want to see games like this where he goes to work and he is ferocious in the paint. That's what us Laker fans want to see from Trez. We want to see him ferocious in the paint and absolutely just like sometimes if you notice when Aaron, I don't know if you notice this, but I notice it when I watch games. He's when he misses a shot in the paint, right when he gets the board and he just like goes bang and he just like throws it down and yeah, he screams a lot. He goes like, Dwan! He's like that usually, which I love to see from Trez. That's why I love Trez because he has that energy and that tenacity on the court and in the paint. That's why he's like my favorite guy to watch on the team right now.
Yeah. He's just it was just fun to watch him get it done, and obviously it's about time we win. Shout out to Erod.
Shout out to Erod.
Thanks for coming on. And you know what? It was just great to see him just come out there, give that energy. The team needed it. And, obviously we have some news regarding Alex Caruso. Those didn't hear. He got scratched out of the game due to back spasms. So, obviously, your boy Caruso, he's hopefully it's okay. Hopefully it was nothing big. He looked like he definitely aggravated it. He just didn't look like he was playing fully. Like right after he had aggravated it, you could tell there was something bothering him.
Yeah.
But let's hope he can play versus the Wizards on Wednesday, and there will be pre and post game show for that game as well. You guys don't want to miss that. But obviously, the rest of the team stepped up, and I think that's the biggest answer. Obviously, Davis not having any minute restriction helped a lot because
it did.
There's where you could look at it and say, would Davis have helped us in the last few games or so? But obviously, I think he finally found his rhythm more today. Like this game, yes, he only scored 18 points. I thought honestly, when I heard the minute restriction was off, and it just go out there and play your game and play how you feel. I honestly thought go for 25, 28 points. Go destroy this team. And you know what? I'll take 18 points from him. And I think he's just going to keep getting better. I think finally today was a stepping stone for him to say, hey, I'm feeling good about myself. My body feels good. my shooting's getting better. And look, he finally made a three at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
He did.
I'm not worried about that though. I'd rather him get inside. We all know we prefer the inside scoring over the outside, but that could be a whole topic of a show. But all in all, I think it was just a good game. I mean, I thought it was a good game, not if I had to grade this game, Manny, I give it maybe a B, a low B, or a high C at the most, because that second quarter, I'm not happy about that, and the Lakers should not be happy about that, because we could have really turned that game into a big blister of a blowout if we had played better.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that. It should be at least like a not even a B, not even a B. I would say like a B minus. And because of that second quarter was just abysmal, horrible. But I like what you said, Aaron, about AD, because I know like it's not really like known for AD just to get like 18 and 8. He's usually known for like 28 and like 11. But look, he missed a bunch of games. It's only his third game, so he needed to find his rhythm back. He's not used to playing consecutive games because he's been out since February 14th. But that's why AD, like, he's finally starting to find his rhythm again, because now he's like, look, guys, I'm getting used to playing on the court again. I haven't played in 2 months. I was rehabbing from that calf injury. And also another thing I got to bring up, Laker Nation, where I got a notification on Twitter from Silver Screen and Roll that LeBron James might be coming back next week. And if that happens, guys, I'm all for it, because I'm all for more rest for our main guys, because there's only 11 games left in the regular season. I don't want them all just rushing themselves to come back now for meaningless games in the regular season. I want to see like a little more rest, and then when we go into playoffs, all our guys are healthy, and then we're just ready to repeat as champions, which I want to see. But if LeBron chooses to come back next week, I want to see him play against the Clippers. That's the game I want to see him play, because not only is it a rivalry game, but also like it's a possible playoff preview. I know Denver is a sure playoff preview because they have the 4 seed, we have the 5 seed, but if we somehow drop to the 6 seed, we can probably get the Clippers in the first round. And honestly, I want to see the Clippers in the first round, because the media loves to talk. They talked about a lot in last season about how the Clippers are somewhat, in quotations, better than us. But I don't believe that. Obviously, we're better because we won the championship. They didn't. But just to shut up the media, I want all that smoke, Laker Nation. I want to see us against the Clippers. And everyone wants to see Kawhi versus LeBron, guys.
Such a true statement right there. Obviously, that's great news. That is great news. Manny, you and I were talking about it earlier today, that, obviously, and even, it's funny, even I was telling my friends too, and they all said, when do you think LeBron will be back? And I said, I was even agreeing with my dad as well, who said, hey, it'd be a perfect opportunity for him to come back during the Denver Clippers series. Like, there's your taste of the good playoff teams that we're going to be playing. You don't need to come back to play Sacramento. You don't need to come back to play Toronto.
Yes.
You need to be playing the big guys that are going to be ones that you're going to be getting through, get your conditioning down. Obviously now, because of his ankle injury, I'm sure, don't get me wrong, I don't know how you tell a king to say you're going to be on a minute restriction. I don't know how that's going to work, but Lakers are going to make it happen, obviously. When we hear about it, obviously when things become more official is when we'll get kind of more into it right now. But if it does become official, it is great news. If it's not, and it's just all speculation, obviously we want him to return once he's 100% ready to go. And obviously it'll be the biggest thing will be his conditioning when that time comes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you there, what you said about like the fact that LeBron, we don't know how he's going to react if Frank Vogel says you're on a minutes restriction. But personally, I think he'll react pretty good, because we've seen him play on the Cavs in years ago, and he did a lot of load managing on the Cavs. I think if he's okay with load managing on Cleveland, if you want to give him a minute restriction after come back from injury, I think LeBron will be like, you know what? I can't play many minutes. The reason why is because I want to see that for the playoffs. That would be, if LeBron says that, that would be a very smart thing if he says that, because like I said before, Aaron, we don't want our guys playing big minutes now in meaningless regular season games with 11 games left to go. Like, if we want to see them waste minutes, do that in the postseason, and not even in the. I'm not even saying Aaron to go in the first round. I'm saying like yeah, the first round I want to see our guys play like at least 30 minutes. But the second round is when I want to see them play 40 minutes and just go ham on the court and just absolutely give it their all. Well, I mean, we always give it our all every game, but I'm saying like we're really gonna put our foot on the gas and just drive, like literally drive that Ferrari. That's what I think we're really gonna do in the second round, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we are gonna, we have to keep looking ahead. Obviously, it depends on where the Lakers finish. It obviously depends on seeding, everything. Obviously, the Spectrum guys were talking about this during the halftime show in a little bit, and the broadcast, Bill and Stu. Always shout out to those guys because they do a great job, tremendous job as always.
Absolutely.
But they said Stu Lance was even saying the biggest thing was that the Lakers, they showed their next slate of games, and basically the Lakers, if ideally they want to keep their spot or have a chance of peaking up a little bit higher, they have to win. Basically, would have to win every game from here on out. The rest of the season, they'd have to win if they want to improve their chances. Also, to shut a lot of people up too, because if the Lakers start playing better, you're gonna stop a lot of people that are bashing on this team that are saying, what's going on with them. Look, why did we only beat a 18-43 Magic team by 11 points when they got beat by I think 28 last night?
Yes.
Those people are gonna be questioning, and yes, we're all sitting there wondering the same thing. But in the end of the day, Lakers, they have to keep on their winning streak here. They can't afford to just win one, lose one. I know Medina, that's been a trend. She's been saying, shout out to her as well. She, is right, because, this point of the season, you can't just win one, lose one. You got to win the next, basically
Yes.
your whole stretch of games. You got to close this regular season out with wins, because that's going to shut the media up. That's going to give you a boost of confidence. That is going to improve everything. And then LeBron, AD, those guys can stop stressing out about having to stay in so many minutes. I'm okay with AD playing about 30 minutes. I'm cool with that. That's not a big deal like he played 31 tonight. But I definitely think those kind of things are going to help this Lakers team.
You hit it spot on right there, Aaron, with the fact that we need to win out. Because, by the way, yes, shout out to Medina, because she has been saying that a lot on the show, that it's frustrating the hell out of us that that we're winning, losing, winning, losing, winning, losing. Like, that trend keeps going on. We can't let that happen. We have to just win out. Like, Lakers, do you want to be in the play-in tournament, or you want to get a bye week and go to the playoffs directly? I want to go to the playoffs directly. I don't want to go in the play-in tournament. That's going to be so stressful for us as a fan base. But looking at our schedule, our next games are against Washington, Sacramento, and Toronto. All three games, Aaron, along with tonight's game, are all winnable games. Washington is under 500, Sacramento under 500, and Toronto under 500. Those three games are absolutely winnable. Without a doubt, will we go on a 4-game winning streak? Maybe not. But if we go on a 4-game winning streak, if we win Orlando, Washington, Sacramento, Toronto, that would be a huge booster for us. And it's what we need, because we don't want to fall further in the standings. And the reason why I say those 4 games are going to be very winnable is because the next games, we have Denver, Clippers, and Portland. Those games are against above 500 teams and Western Conference powerhouses. And another thing I forgot to bring up, after Portland, in 2 weeks, we face Phoenix, who's a number 2 seed in the West, and a possible conference finals preview, in my opinion. Even though I think the Jazz are going to meet us in the conference finals, the Suns could also be there. So, yeah, absolutely, I agree with you with there. We need to go on a massive winning streak now because those games are going to be very, very hard to win. It all depends on LeBron's going to play, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. It just depends on when he's gonna play. Depends on how the Lakers want to go about it. I get it. They were mentioning this as well on the broadcast today. That said, look, Anthony Davis, basically, from what they've heard, is he could have played last week. He could have absolutely come back last week. If this team was in dire need of help, that they were in jeopardy of losing their playoff spot, there's probably a good chance the Lakers would have said, hey, if you're feeling good enough, let's get you out there next week. Let's get you out there as soon as we can. Obviously, they had the luxury of having a semi-deep bench still. So they kind of said, you know what? It was close to the Achilles. We want to be cautious. And Laker fans can't be mad at that. I'm not mad about them being super cautious with him. They're going to be cautious with LeBron as well. They want those guys. Those are our main horses to this team. They make everything move. They make everyone play better. They make the ball movement be better. And obviously LeBron speaks for himself. And I support it. I 100% support what they want to do and how they've been going about keeping everyone healthy. Because in the end of the day, it's funny. Phil Handy is very active on social media, right, Manny?
Absolutely.
And he said on his Instagram account, actually, when people commented on something about the Lakers and they tagged him in it, and they said, it's frustrating to see us lose like this. And he said that what he told this fan is, he says, he said losing in the regular season is one thing. He said that's the warm up for what you're really playing for. He said you're playing for the playoffs. And obviously the Lakers are playing to repeat. And that's the bottom line. They're playing for that. But obviously, I want this team to continue to have a winning mindset. Because we can't just be win one, lose one, win one, lose one, and think that's okay. Because all of a sudden, those losses are going to catch up. I'm shocked to see us at 25 losses, I believe, now on the year.
25,
and,
yes.
If I'm the Lakers, I definitely want to play this out and say, hey, got to keep this winning streak going. You got to get LeBron back, but AD, you're in charge of this team too. Let's not forget it, because this ship is not going to keep running without you, and this team needs him. This team needs to keep the offense going, and obviously they've made some sloppy, poor possession plays tonight, reflected on that when Anthony Davis wasn't in the game as well. And this is the time you really got to clean this stuff out right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's right now we need to clean it out because, like I said before, there's 12 games, there's 11 games left on the season. If there's problems we need to fix them right now. But clearly, I feel like we're doing okay in fixing those problems. But like you said, and like Medina says, we can't just go with that trend: win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Like I said before, with the schedule, we have 3 other easy teams along with this 4th one that we played, Orlando. We need to go on a 4-game winning streak. Like I said, will that happen? Probably not. But if we do, it's going to be a big booster for us because those next games are all against playoff contenders. And if we don't win these 4, those other games are going to be tough. I mean, look, I can see us probably beating like a Clippers or a Nuggets or a Portland Trailblazers or a Phoenix Suns team. But those games are going to be tough, and those are games that we're going to demand for LeBron, and we're going to be we're going to be in dire need for Anthony Davis to just play like a monster. I mean, he always has played like a monster, but we're basically we're gonna have to need him to play a lot more physical because there's guys that play very inconsistent on our roster. But I'm glad that Kuzma finally did not take like 10 plus threes. I'm glad that Schroeder is very consistent. I'm glad that KCP is playing very consistent. So that's a very good confidence booster in my opinion. But obviously with LeBron, we're going to look like a very different team in a good way. And again, come playoff time, we're going to be very difficult to stop defensively. Just the problem is, guys, offensively, we need to clean up our act. I feel like Frank Vogel during practice, I mean, he's probably not listening to this, but if he is, hold some like shooting camps like before the Washington game. I want to see us do a lot of shooting drills because our offense is not looking good. Like, we're the fifth seed in the West, and we're 29th in the NBA in offensive efficiency. Are you kidding me, guys? That is not something I'm very happy to hear. And I told you, Aaron, before the show, I was going to bring this up, and I'm bringing it up. I'm not happy as a diehard Laker fan. I know you're not, and I know a lot of Laker fans are not. We need to clean up our act on offense because it's going to come back to bite us in the behind.
Yeah, you hit it on the spot too. So, hey, that makes both of us today. It's just, we want to see this Lakers team better. We want to see them better. We want to see them just absolutely be healthy. First of all, number one and foremost of anything, have nobody, not one person on the injury list, because everybody needs to be healthy. Everybody contributes to this team. Even Jared Dudley, Mr. Energy Guy, he just helps keep this team intact as well. Obviously in this game tonight versus the Magic, there was some opportunities. We were talking about it earlier too during the game that said, like, you have to ask yourself, why don't the Lakers take opportunities when they're missing the switches on pick and rolls, and Magic's gonna make you pay because they have a mismatch. You almost have to ask yourself, why not see a little bit more zone, where the Lakers could play zone with no switching. You stay with the same guy and you just stay on him and you just guard that whole area. That whole area is yours, no matter who's coming there. That's your area. You could read the mismatches. You could read blocking. You could read grabbing the boards. I think Lakers really need to look at possibly adding that in the mix more. I think that would have helped them even more tonight. And I feel like they were just late on specific defensive switches. That's going to burn us right there in the playoffs because teams are going to see that and they're going to say they're late. This is how you make the Lakers pay. This is how you beat this team. And obviously things could change because, when LeBron's on the court, you hear him, you could see him yelling at his team, calling out defensive spots, telling this guy, this is where you need to be. Obviously that could change, but I think in general as a team, I think when we look ahead, obviously playing the Wizards, they're playing great. Scott Brooks is having his team play great ball. They are just on a roll right now. They are even in playoffs talk, which is kind of bizarre, Manny, because
True.
It's crazy. Basketball can change though. Look at the Knicks. I think the Knicks have won 10 straight in a row. They're just these teams that you don't expect to come out there and win. They're just turning themselves around. Lakers cannot take Washington for granted as well. Maybe it's something where you implement a little bit new of a defensive strategy. What do you think?
Honestly, I agree. We can't take Washington lightly. And I agree with what you said about the fact that the NBA can change. Who would have thought the Knicks would go on a 9-game winning streak? I know they lost tonight against the Phoenix Suns. I had that game on my TV while we were live. They lost, but they played a very competitive game, the Knicks. So props to them. But yeah, we can't take the Washington Wizards lightly. They have two great players in the NBA in Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. And to talk a bit about Russell Westbrook, Aaron, he's been on a tear. Like, not a lot of people are talking about that because he plays on Washington. Washington's not exactly like a big market team, so you're not hearing much about him. But he's getting triple doubles game after game after game. So if there's a guy we're gonna have to shut out if I'm gonna do an early key to the game, for Wednesday's game, it's definitely contain Russell Westbrook because we know he's gonna drive to the lane, dunk. He's gonna make his threes. He's gonna make his twos. He's gonna make his free throws. He's gonna pass the ball. He's gonna rebound the ball. He does it all pretty much. He's basically, in my opinion, a poor man's LeBron, like Russell Westbrook. So that's what we're going to have to watch out for. And they've been winning a lot of games. Look at the standings right now, actually. They're in the play-in tournament. They're at the 10th seed currently. And they have I know they're like only one game up on Toronto that's 11th, but they could definitely make the play-in tournament and shock a lot of teams the way they've been playing. And I'll talk a bit about Bradley Beal. At one point of the season, he was leading the league in scoring before Steph Curry went on his tear. So they're going to be tough to stop. They have a good team, and also, I mean, actually, what am I saying? He's not there anymore. I was going to talk about Mo Wagner, but he got traded to the Boston Celtics. But they also have a guy named Troy Brown Jr. that's a very good player, and Rui Hachimura. Their team is actually very underrated. And also, shout out to Vince. He always tells me this, and it's true. Coaching matters in the NBA. Scott Brooks has not been the best coach. I feel like if they had another coach, they would probably be like a 6 or a 5 seed. I think they're very capable of doing that with a team like Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook, two guards that are just so freaking dominant, in my opinion.
I was gonna say you got to save something for the pregame show for our show on Wednesday. But I mean, let's go into the final thoughts here. What was your take overall, looking ahead as well? What you got for me, Manny?
Final thoughts would be that I think we played a good game. It could have been better. Like me and you both said, B minus or C plus would be a good grade. I would give this at least an A minus if it wasn't for our horrid second quarter that we gave up 40 freaking points against the 18-win Orlando Magic. But I feel like if our defense gets a little bit better, I mean, our defense is number one in the league, but if we play a defensive game like we did tonight, it's not going to be good against the Wizards. A team like the Wizards is not going to cut it because they're a little better, obviously, than the Orlando Magic. But I think that we should just play a little better offensively. Once we get our stuff together on offense, I think there's no issue to talk about with this team. I feel like we're going to come back to where we were. LeBron is going to be back next week, hopefully. And if he plays against the Clippers, that's going to be a big money maker for the NBA because it's both the Lakers and Clippers, something that the media has been thirsting for since last season. So that's my final thoughts. What about you, Aaron?
My final thoughts within this game, definitely, it's a grind again. You got to get back to playing, the Laker basketball ways, the Showtime style basketball. And you know what? You just got to start implementing your sets again. Get familiar more with Anthony Davis being with the team, being very active, involved in things. And I think the Lakers are just going to keep learning from it. Look, you made mistakes tonight. You just got to know that you can't be doing this anymore. Also, Manny, what is your I'll start with you. Besides from the Lakers game tonight, a little bit of around the NBA. What is your take? Actually, Pelicans beating the Clippers right now. That was kind of a shock. They're up 105-84 in the game. I mean, Pelicans. They're not really looking ahead, obviously, to beyond the regular season. But I mean, I got to give them credit. I mean, obviously with Zion and their team, they're still decently competitive, and they still come out. It's not anything easy when it comes to beating a team. No matter how good the Clippers are playing, they're playing great ball. They're 43-19 on the year, but I mean, are you surprised they actually lost today? I mean, there's a few different games that look like it's almost over as well. Timberwolves and the Jazz, Heat and the Bulls, Nuggets and Grizzlies. Are you surprised?
I'm very surprised that the Pelicans are beating the Clippers, especially that the Clippers didn't even score 90. I'm looking at the game right now. The 62 left in the fourth on the ESPN app. They only have 84 points. You would think a team with I guess that's why. There's no Kawhi Leonard playing. Maybe that's why. But still, Paul George, you are a top 15 player in the NBA, and you are shooting 3 for 11. That is not gonna cut it. I'm sorry, and I'll admit this. I call out Paul George all the time because of his inconsistencies in the playoffs. But in the regular season, he's usually a good player. I guess he's not playing very well. Marcus Morris is shooting the ball too much from what I'm seeing on the stats. The Marcus Cousins is shooting 5 for 11, bad percentage as well. They're shooting 39% from the field and 20% from 3. I mean, I'll be honest. The Clippers aren't my favorite team, but I just think they should be playing better. I'm just calling it as it is. they're a top team in the West, and they shouldn't be playing like this against a 26 win team in the Pelicans. But what is there to say about Zion Williamson, Aaron? He's absolutely amazing every game, so consistent. 23 points. He's shooting 8 for 11 from the field. He's a freak, Zion. And nothing very much to say about him. Brandon Ingram, shout out to him, former Laker young core. 3 for 5 from 3 is 17 points. But my boy Lonzo Ball, he has been very good this year. And he's been actually such a big improvement. His shot he's fixed. He's actually has 15 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He has the potential, in my opinion, Lonzo Ball, to averaging a triple-double one day. And I think he can do it. Maybe he won't be like a 20, 30 point per game scorer, but I feel like in his career one time he could probably get like 13, 10, and 11. He can definitely average in his career. That's for sure. And but that's just my opinion on that game. I think I just don't know what's going on with the Clippers. I think they should be better than that. Paul George should be better than that. But since you want to look at other games, Jazz and Timberwolves. Timberwolves are pulling off a massive upset. I guess the Jazz don't want to be the first seed. I'm guessing they want to make maybe like Phoenix past them, because Phoenix did beat a very good Knicks team that's been on a 9-game winning streak. I mean, it snapped tonight, but it's unbelievable. Absolutely. Shout out to the New York Knicks. They've been suffering for such a long time, that fan base, and great game for them. Absolute round of applause to them. 76ers beat the Thunder. No surprise there. The Thunder are looking at the lottery. They're looking at possibly Kate Cunningham and Evan Mobley, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, there's one game I want to talk about is the Spurs and Wizards game. This game went to overtime, 146-143. And shout out, I mean, being from Canada, a lot of Raptor fans know all about him, DeMar DeRozan. He absolutely tore the Wizards up with 37 points, 10 assists. I know he played 41 minutes, but to get 37 and 10 is absolutely incredible, especially that DeRozan's 32, 33. He's not exactly that young DeMar that was on the Raptors years ago. But whatever team gets him in the offseason, they're really gonna use him very well. He's a very good scoring wing. I know he doesn't not known for making his threes, but he's very good. DeJounte Murray, though, listen to this stat line, Aaron. 25 points, 17 rebounds for a guard. A guard that just got 17 rebounds. He's playing like a big man, which is absolutely crazy. And then the Wizards, Russell Westbrook, I finished talking about him before, and I'm still going to talk about him again. He had 22 points, 14 rebounds, 13 assists. Triple-double machine. That's what we need to do when we play the Wizards on Wednesday as Lakers. And Bradley Beal, I talked about that he used to have the most points in the NBA this year. He might get that again if Curry somehow goes on a slump. He had 45 points tonight. Incredible. Bradley Beal is an absolute generational talent, and if any Wizards are listening to this, lock him up. Lock this guy up. I know he's on a big contract, but once that contract expires, lock him up again. This guy is a keeper. You don't want to lose Bradley Beal. He's an absolute tank. But that game went to overtime. It was a very high-scoring game. Very good. And let's look at the other games, actually. Let's see. Oh, there's a game that's going on right now. 66 in the fourth. Heat and Bulls. I know the Bulls, they're trying to make a push for the playoffs. I don't know if they'll make it, because we know they got Vucevic in the trade deadline, which can really help their front court, in my opinion. And speaking of Vucevic, 22 points, 10 rebounds, shooting 4 for 5 from 3. Center that can make threes. That's it. That's what you need in the NBA today, because NBA is a three-point shooting league. I know how much me, you, and Medina don't like the fact that the Lakers keep shooting threes. It is a three-point shooting league, and if you're seeing a center that's consistently making threes, that's incredible, in my opinion. And then actually a big shocker, in my opinion, Daniel Theis, that came over from the Celtics in that in a trade before. 23 points, shot 10 for 13 from the field. Daniel Theis having 23 points is an absolute incredible thing. And the Bulls currently are actually beating the Miami Heat, and I had the Miami Heat making it very far in the East. They're looking like they're going to be in the play-in tournament, which is not good. The fact that they they added Victor Oladipo, which in my opinion was a win now move. But it doesn't look like Oladipo played tonight from what I'm seeing on the stats. But Jimmy Butler doing Jimmy Butler things, 31 points, 10 for 16 from the field. Bam Adebayo doing Bam things with 23 points. I honestly, I think Bam Adebayo should be getting double-digit rebounds. I don't know why he only has 6. I'm not a Heat fan, so I can't answer that question. But there's a lot of good games on tonight, actually, for around the NBA segment that we could talk about. A lot of close games, which I'm liking. As an NBA fan, I'm pretty sure, Aaron, you could agree with this with me, that seeing close NBA games are always fun to watch, in my opinion.
Oh, they are. They're better than, watching blowouts, one-sided games. Before we wrap it up, Manny, give me your predictions. Obviously, Clippers game is pretty much in the bag. As a Ralph Lawler, former voice of the Clippers, longtime legendary broadcaster, once said, first to 100 wins, it's the law. So that game is 112-89. Should obviously go final at some point. There's 4:44 left in the game. Manny, give me your thoughts. Who you got winning? Bulls, Heat, Jazz, Timberwolves, Grizzlies, Nuggets, Mavericks, Kings. Give it to me, man.
I'm actually gonna go with an upset. Like I know, like I root for a favorite, and we all do, which is the Lakers. I like seeing upsets in sports, and I want to see the Bulls actually beat the Heat. Like I said, they were currently winning the game. Now what I'm seeing is actually, let me refresh the page because I went back on my thing. Yeah, they're still winning, 99-97, which is absolutely insane. I want to see the Bulls win this. I like seeing upsets. And Jazz and Timberwolves. Timberwolves are currently 97-95. Go Timberwolves for that game. I want to see a massive upset. And the Jazz are a very hot NBA team this year, so seeing them lose would be a crazy thing to see. Like, no one would expect to see that. Pelicans and Clippers. Pelicans, obviously, because the Clippers are getting their behinds whooped, 112-88. Nuggets and Grizzlies. I want to see the Grizzlies win. Like I said, I like to see upsets, so hopefully the Grizzlies can win that one. And the Nuggets are a very good team. I know they don't have Jamal Murray healthy, but Jokic is, in my opinion, my MVP to win this year. So I don't want to see the Nuggets win personally, because I feel like that's going to be a very tough round one for the Lakers. And there's another game on right now that just started in Kings and Mavericks. I love my boy Luka. I want to see the Mavericks win that game. Aaron, your volume.
I knew that. There we go. That's going to do it for us today for Lakers Live post-game show and around the NBA. Hey, why not combine them both together? For Manny, Medina, and myself, I'm Aaron. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody, and enjoy the rest of these games they got going on. A lot of exciting things, a lot of exciting games going on still early in the night. Take care, guys, and we will see you on Wednesday for a 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. East Coast time, Lakers Live pregame show, Lakers and Wizards. We will catch you then. Take care, everyone.
Peace.